All right. When we talk running back, obviously it's Nick Chubb, it's Sony Michel, it's their show, but unfortunately injuries have gotten in the way. Two of the premier backs in college football, and we got a glimpse of what it looks like in the Liberty Bowl when they're both on the field and in that comeback victory from about 9 or 10 points down, and they both got it rolling there in the second half after a rough start. And it could be special if you could get those two guys on the field at the same time and be able to utilize them and really put pressure on the defense.
Oh, definitely. The two together are unstoppable. It was really nice to see them both decide to come back and take that year and develop themselves even more, and honestly just become that mentor to these younger running backs that Georgia has picked up in the last two recruiting classes. I think Chubb probably has a vengeance, especially after coming off of his injury last season. He kind of he produced, but he didn't really, we all, Georgia fans all have him as high expectations. Well, he didn't quite meet him, I don't think, in his opinion. And he's the kind of guy that always is like, I can always do better. And so that's what I think he's going to come out this season. As for Sony kind of made a stand last season. He did he did his job, and he made key plays. And, he showed that how much talent he really does have versus when Nick Chubb was just as healthy and stuff like that. So I think that the both of them together are almost unstoppable. And honestly, I would pick them over any other running backs in the SEC. They have the heart and the talent and the drive, and not to mention they want to help the younger guys and they want to be leaders of the team. And that's really important that I think that Coach Smart emphasizes is being leaders of the team. And then last season, Sony had to step up and become a leader, and I think that's going to carry over through this season as well.
Savannah, Sony's got the broken arm, so of course he's not going to play spring football. We may not even see him through August. It's probably touch and go for the opener, based on what I've heard. At least you probably have better information. For Nick Chubb, I don't know what his status is for the spring. They may want to take the precautionary route and hold him out, or just maybe just take him through drills and not allow him to be involved in contact. Do you know what the practice status is at this point?
I do not. Actually, the spring practice for Georgia starts on the 21st, in which for media access and such, we're kind of like a tentative schedule. From what I did hear just through reading and stuff like that, it's kind of what you explained. I think they're just going to go through drills and stuff, but I also think that they're going to let him have a little fun as well. Then really step up and like show the young guys what to do. As for Sony, and I mean his broken arm, he can still run, but I don't think they'll risk anything at all. So, but we don't have much information right now because we haven't quite gotten all the access to spring and stuff. But come March 21st, there'll be a whole lot more that we can see and look at.
Seems like Brendan Douglas has been around forever. So he stepped onto the field for the first time as a freshman, and he was kind of pressed into action because of Todd Gurley, Keith Marshall getting hurt, and he was pretty successful. Obviously, there are more talented guys in play, but when he's been needed to fill in, he's done a pretty admirable job. So you got to have a bit of a huge heart for a guy that's obviously been through the program, stuck it out, done a capable job, been there when you needed him, and guts it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he's one of those guys like Bryce Ramsey. He came to Georgia to play for the G, and it's like that brotherhood that they have, and it's just the camaraderie. He's gonna play when he needs to be played, and he's going whenever a coach says, "Hey, we need you to play," he's gonna be like, "Okay," and he's gonna give 110%. Now, I mean, this season, I don't see him seeing the field much. He's going to be probably that third or fourth back behind Brian Herrien. And then you also have DeAndre Swift, a 4-5-star running back out of the 2017 class, who is coming in with guns blazing. And, I mean, he is just as capable to be in the mix of things as well. Granted, they could redshirt him, but I think that as talented as Swift is, he's definitely going to make a statement come this summer as well. But for Brendan Douglas, kid's got heart. He's just not quite fast enough or talented enough to be able to stick into the mix of things as well. But, I mean, we can use him on special teams.
So Swift, you were able to pry him out of Philadelphia, get him away from Penn State as the top-rated player in the state, fourth-rated running back in the country. What have you heard? Obviously, we have yet to see him. Unfortunately, won't see him in spring practice, not an early enrollee. But as you say, a guy of that talent, and based on the precarious situation with the injuries in front of him, maybe he gets a shot. Maybe he's forced to play. What good things have you heard about Swift?
Swift is definitely kind of like a very physical running. He's very physical when he runs, but he also has very good vision. He sees the football field well, especially running through tackles and stuff like that. He's a bigger guy. Granted, his speed, like he's kind of like a Nick Chubb build, honestly, if you want to compare him. He's very hard to tackle, especially once he breaks speed and gets into the secondary and such. Those corners, it takes him a while to get him down, especially upstate. But I mean, granted, I'm more used to the South football style in high school, but watching his film, he's just impressive. He has the speed, he has the agility, and he's just a guy that is a pleasing player to watch. So I think he's going to make a stand, especially coming into this summer, because it seems like his mentality about football is if he sees someone's that is better than him, he is going to try to step up and make sure that he is competing alongside with them. And I think that's something that Georgia needed desperately, because they have all this talent on the roster, but it's just like there's competition, but there's nobody that's like pushing each other. And this past season, with Coach Smart implementing a little bit more of an aggressive practice style, I think that like, hey, you're better than me, so I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna try to make myself better than you this time kind of mentality is what's kind of pushed that team, and honestly what stuck the team together is because they're combining with each other and they're competing with each other and they're making each other better, which is making Georgia as a whole football team better.